Hi, all. Welcome to the Practice Center. My name is Joey Reese, and I'm here to practice all things mindfulness, forgiveness, and attitudinal healing. And today we're here to talk about intention, very specific to attitudinal healing on the chapter around choice. We talk about the hundreds of thousands of choices that are made out of our awareness. And if we want to make some more conscious choice, like what do we want to look at? And very specifically, there are 5 areas of choice making that sometimes get just thrown into the wind. And those are intention, attention, meaning, attitude, and response. So yesterday, during our attitudinal healing series around application and practice in particular, I got the question about intentions. Like, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And how many times have I woken up thinking, yeah, I'm going to execute X, Y, Z. I have the best of intentions. And at the end of the day, I've sat in bed drinking tequila and eating vegan ice cream. Was that an intention? It would be my question. Or the question very specifically yesterday, I go to the store with the intention of having nothing but good for you food. And I come home with a cart full of junk, right? It sounds like you set the right intention and yet it didn't get executed. So that question, I think, is an important one to address, because so much of this kind of field and words like attention and mindfulness or intention or stillness or mindfulness, like there's a danger of a lot of them getting conflated with, so for example, intention just as a swap out for goal setting. Like I set these goals and I didn't meet them. So I want to talk to you about how here at Attitudinal Healing, how we would talk about intention. So first I want to go back to how I address kind of the layers of who we are. Because one of the core tenets of attitudinal healing is that the essence of my being is love. The essence of your being is love. So at the core, that essence, that part of you that's always been with you, no matter how your body has changed from the moment of awareness, that essence of being you. So for me, the essence of being Joey has been with me throughout time. So there's that piece that, when we were born, there were some people, no matter what kind of a rough start that we had, maybe, that when they look at babies, they go, oh, right? There's just like this tenderness and that, oh my God, they're a bundle of joy. We describe them, even though we know babies are horrendous. Yeah, I've had 3. They cry, they poop, they want to be fed, they want to be cared for all the time. I don't know that if we as adults did that constantly and needed that, we would not be described as bundle of joy, yet we do that for little ones, right? So that bundle of joyness, the essence of loveness, whether you've been removed for it, like far removed from that or not, just stop and notice if there is that knowing, that part of you where your heart swells, right, from the inside out when you look at beauty or are touched or feel that compassion. So there's a layer of that purity, that joy, that is me. And then I'm living in this body, having a very human experience. And because of that, there are experiences that come into my world that are traumatic. So there are experiences that I would describe as events that separated me from a felt sense of safety, dignity, or belonging. So for example, I was born in Korea and then put up for adoption. That separation from my family of origin, my culture of origin, my nationality, all of these things was an absolute separation. It made me feel physically unsafe, but more than that, it made me feel like I didn't belong. When I'm thinking about traumas like racism, I've encountered it. I can't even describe to you how often I've run head on into racist remarks and comments. And those are designed, and when I was younger, it definitely separated me from a felt sense of dignity, like I didn't want to be in my skin or I felt dirty, right? So that sense of dignity. So these are events. So maybe it was a name calling, maybe it's just kind of the national stories. Like I don't watch, people send me tapes of Black people being hurt. And, it's just like, I don't watch those kind of things because that's a thing that happens to me on a regular basis. I don't need to further watch more traumatic events. Yeah, so these are events. So depending on how much skill I have, what kind of support systems, how mature, a combination of multiple things for each one of us determines how far we're going to carry along that trauma in a way that detrimentally impacts our ability to live life on purpose. So that idea of suffering, carrying that on and ruminating on it and taking it super personally and blaming somebody, something, or someone else, that suffering story, we can hear people telling you their grievance stories again and again. That time when so-and-so did such and such, oh my God, they were such an asshole. I can't believe it. That's the reason why I can't. And then they fill in the blank, right? So that idea of suffering, we hold on to this when at the time when the trauma happened, we didn't have the skills or the support, for us to let that go. And then the combination of this trauma and suffering, just life, then we become these adult people who say things like, I'm just like this. This is me. This is who I am. But what we're actually describing, for the most part, and I know this is true for me, just test it out. See if it's true for you. If it's not, then just flush it down the toilet. But it's this personality of survival. Like, this is me. Oh, I'm just a loner. I'm just like that. Well, I might be describing to you a personality trait or one of those Enneagram traits, or I might be describing to you how I've survived my suffering and my trauma. Yeah, so when I say things like, people identify me as a strong person, I use this demonstration quite a lot. They describe me as this strong, independent person. And every time somebody says that, I look at that person and go, oh, they don't know me. Yeah, because I don't consider myself particularly strong. But it is because I've had countless amounts of traumatic events and then have suffered for so long and then been in the business of teaching this stuff that I come across like I'm strong. I come across like I'm independent, but I'm super social and I need connection like anybody else. Or it might be, or just me physically, I might be manifesting some sort of protective mechanism. So not so many years ago, I was feeling very upset by something. And I knew that was a trigger. I knew that I was feeling bad. And then I don't even know what I was eating, but I made a big pot of something and I proceeded to eat. And then there was a moment when, you've eaten too much. So for me, there was a moment when I knew I was eating too much. And then I felt like this pain in my stomach, like the discomfort in my stomach. Because you have to be long past full if you're able to feel that discomfort while you're eating, right? But it was at that moment I realized, oh my God, I was feeling some things. I didn't want to feel that thing. And the easiest way that I know how not to feel that emotional thing that I don't know how to manage is to shove food in my mouth and like really fast and in a way that makes me physically uncomfortable. So all I do is then focus on that physical discomfort. And then I am like exiting out of that emotional discomfort. It was such an interesting realization, like in that moment. And even now when I think about it, I go, oh, I see what's happening. So I have an event, I suffer around it. I don't like that feeling. And so I created this survival mechanism that says, if you eat a lot and you feel physically uncomfortable, there's a reason for that. And so my weight gain and the significant amounts of heaviness that I carried most of my life was a direct result of my trauma and suffering and echoes. So all of the diets that I was ever on, with the best of intentions to lose weight, never worked because it didn't address my essence, my trauma, or my suffering. It just addressed the symptom, which is you got fat. Yeah. So now when we're talking about choice making, when I get up in the morning and exercise now, or when I make choices to eat this food and instead of this would, or buy this or that at the store, it's no longer an intention to lose weight. The intention isn't for my echoes. The intention isn't set around my managing my suffering. The intention isn't set to help me deal with my trauma. The intention is set for my essence, the essence of who I am, which is love. And the essence, that love and that joy, that fulfillment inside of me wants to take care of this physical body in a way that'll allow me to last for a long time. Yeah. So my essence knows that taking care of this body means that I have to move it. I have to sleep. I have to drink water. I have to do certain things. It knows that, right? So when I'm going grocery shopping, I don't set my intention for the grocery cart. I set my intention for my essence, for my love, for how I want to be, how I want to show up, who I want to be, right? And I might battle that. So as I'm going down, I go, oh God, those cookies look good. And I can say that out loud and not feel deprivation, because I know that they do look good because they're designed to look good. They're designed to pack it full of sugar and things that my palate will enjoy. So of course it's going to look good or get my mouth salivating. Of course, that's what it's designed to do. But my essence is designed to take care of me. And so I just sit with that for a moment. So I might actually even hold the cookies and go, okay, so like I know my pattern enough now. I'm 51. I know my pattern enough. If I bring this home and I don't immediately give away, it will end up in my mouth. That's just a kind of the pattern that I've developed over time. So even though in that moment I feel like really under control, I know that that's what's going to happen. So I can say, you get to take this home if you want. Like I get to do that as an adult woman who has my own money that I'm spending on groceries. I get to take this home. How does that align with how I want to take care of myself? How I want to nurture this essence? And then that cookie doesn't feel so looming and big anymore because I've made a decision that's so much bigger than that. But each time that I have that moment of awareness and I take the time and that moment to choose, then that leads me towards peace. Whereas if I mindlessly pretend like I don't have that choice and I put it in my basket, it somehow gets home, then I act like it wasn't within my control or choice. I say, see, every time cookies are in my house, I just end up eating them. I can then act as if I don't have any choice. And that can lead to more suffering stories. So the idea of intention is not about just a to-do list. Buy this, don't buy this. Smile like this, don't smile like it's not a to-do list of how to behave or to be the perfect person or to exemplify what a healed person looks like on the outside. Those intentions are for none of that. The intention is once you've identified it and start asking yourself and you're curious about who am I and how do I want to take care of this carcass that I'm in? And then I orient my sense of choice making around that. So when I set my intention around that, like I want to take care of my essence, whether I'm at the grocery store or whether I'm in a relationship, then I pay attention to certain things, like how aisles are laid out. You guys, I rarely ever shop in the middle aisles. Why? So I go to the produce section and then sometimes I'll go and pick up wine or bread on the other section. I like to make my own bread, but yeah, the middle aisles I know is just filled with nonsense, stuff that's hyper palatable, that are designed for me to overeat. And like, I don't need to get into that battle. I just want to get to know who I am and take care of this as best I can. So I pay attention to how I shop in the store. What time of day did I feed myself beforehand? Because if I am running low and starving and running to the store, I bet I'm going to make some poor choices, right? So I want to design and pay attention to the way that I'm running my life. And then I give those cookies meanings. Yeah, the cookie has no meaning, yet all of a sudden it means that I'm worthy or not worthy, right? So I got to go, cookies are just cookies. Cookies are just cookies, right? And then I think about my attitude. Like, do I feel deprived that I'm not putting those cookies in there? Maybe there are days when I say yes to that. And then on those days, I'm going to buy a cookie. I'm going to take however many I want out of that and give it to the rest to my kids. Because again, I want to manage and choose and not be at the mercy of my tiredness, hungriness, those times when I don't choose so well. Yeah. So what's my attitude? I feel really grateful that I had this realization about myself and that cookies don't control me. Yeah. So my attitude is like, oh, I feel very, very blessed. And then my response at any given moment. So from moment to moment, every shopping is going to be different. But at that moment, I can respond by putting the cookies down. And and either feeling good or feeling neutral, or like if I circle back around and I want those cookies, then I'll put it in there. It's not about the cookies, right? But you have a say in how you respond. So the intention, please don't conflate it for a to-do list or another mechanism for you to hustle and be better and strive for more. No, intention really, it is about the essence of who you are, right? So set those intentions in a way that allows you to take care of yourself that way. Okay, thanks for hanging around. Thanks for listening. I'd love to hear your comments. So it's always helpful if you message me or comment here directly. If we want to grow this YouTube channel, subscribe, watch another video. But thanks for being here. Bye.